She came up to me and she handed me a pack of paper towels. And I was like, thank you, that was very sweet of you. And she's like, yeah. She's like, you're welcome. She's like, I saw that they were still in one of these boxes, so I just decided to put them on the shelf so people could get to them easier. And I was like, yes. I was like, that is something I would do, because that is doing something, that is responding to a crisis situation out of love, like not being selfish, not trying to just hoard stuff, but trying to help other people when you've already got what you need. So find a way to Hello, beautiful fellow lightworkers. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel and checking out this video. So I wanted to record a video and share a message that I recently received. And I actually got this a few weeks ago. It was before the whole virus got like super crazy and out of control to the point where everybody was on lockdown and stuff. So I didn't really notice it as much at that time. Basically what the message that I heard said, don't react out of fear, respond out of love. And I didn't quite know what that meant at the time, and it took me a while to kind of think about it and meditate on it and figure out what that meant and why I was hearing that message. And I feel like it's very appropriate now for what's going on, because a lot of people are in a state of fear. And as we always say on this channel, fear is false evidence appearing real. So I wanted to go over a few examples of how I have seen this in my own personal life and things that I've done as well. I think we've all experienced a point where we were triggered and we completely just reacted, like just very upset, very angry, even if it was like something that was pretty small and that wasn't a big deal. And one example I can think of is like with children. For instance, like with my mom, if I did something that scared her, like once I stuck a bobby pin in a socket. Don't know why I did it. I was a kid and it just seemed like a good idea at the time. I know I shouldn't laugh because that's very dangerous, but I'm just laughing because I don't know why I did it, but who knows how we think of what we think when we're kids. So anyways, I did that and all the electricity went out, and luckily I did not get hurt. I wasn't electrocuted or anything. We did have to call an electrician to come fix the problem after that. But my mom, I remember, was so furious with me, understandably, because she reacted out of fear. Like, why did you do that? You know, you could have hurt yourself and all of that stuff. And I know a lot of that's understandable how parents would react. But then I was thinking, like, well, if I was a parent, like, how would I respond maybe in that situation or other situations where if I had a kid and they got hurt and I was really scared. So a lot of times we do react in that way out of fear, and for the other person, whether it be a kid, a friend, a family member, a spouse or partner, they may interpret it as you're really, really mad at me and you hate me or something like that, versus them being like, I really love you and that's why I'm upset, because I don't want you to get hurt. And sometimes that message doesn't always get relayed. There was an incident with one of my dogs, Tammy, who's actually behind me right here. When we got our truck, we had it stacked pretty high with stuff that we were going to be using in the RV. So like we had blankets and pillows and stuff like that. And she had climbed on top of the like pillow mountain. It was pretty high up, and I had opened the door to get something, and she just jumped out. And actually, instead of jumping out, she kind of tumbled out. And I was so upset at the time because I was like, she knows, both of our dogs know that they have to wait in the car, truck, wherever vehicle we're in until we say, let's go or come or something, some kind of command. But she just went for it for some reason. And I'm very grateful she's not hurt at all. She's perfectly okay. We didn't have to take her to the vet or anything. But I was so angry just thinking like, why did she do that? And I don't want her to get hurt. But really, I felt like my response, instead of just being angry, should have been more of out of love, like responding out of love, being like, you know, like we usually do if someone gets hurt. It's just the whole, are you okay? How are you? Let me see, you know, that sort of thing. And just do that instead of just the whole like, oh, just getting so angry. And so, because of course she doesn't understand what happened and she doesn't understand why I was upset. I'm sure she could feel my energy. Like, I don't know why she's so mad at, you know, why is she so mad at me right now? But I can't explain it to her. It's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad that about the situation and that what could have happened, but it didn't happen. So I didn't need to be fearful of it, but I was reacting out of fear. So I'd say the number one tip I have for starting to program yourself to start responding out of love instead of reacting out of fear, because I know it's easier said than done. For me, what has worked pretty well is before reacting, and this takes practice, I may not get it every time, it may take a while, is to pause and just take a deep breath before you say anything. And then you can think about what you're going to say, how you're going to respond, what you're going to do before you actually do it. And that will be more of a loving response if you have time to just reset with a breath versus just getting all built up and angry and then just letting it all out and exploding. So that I highly recommend practicing. It may take a while before you even remember to remind yourself to do that. But if you keep that in mind, I think it'll be very helpful. Another tip is to become more centered in our heart space versus just in our heads, because sometimes we react out of fear when we're in our heads, such as fear of rejection or fear of getting hurt. But if we were to actually follow our heart and our intuition and how we felt, we might make different decisions. Like instead of running away from someone or storming out angrily, we might just want to talk to them or give them a hug, and that's what our inner child is actually yearning for. Right now, like I said, there's so much fear going on with this virus and all the news and everything that's going on about that. And I wasn't really feeling it until I started going to the grocery store as it was progressing. And then when I saw all the panic buying, which I still to this day cannot understand, the whole toilet paper thing, I literally don't get it. Like, I've read articles about it. I don't get why that was the commodity of choice. Toilet paper and paper towels just seems really random to me. And I really don't feel like the stores, grocery stores, will ever close. And if they do, it wouldn't be for that long, because then panic really would ensue. And I can guarantee there would be mobs of people rioting, breaking into stores, grabbing stuff that they need, because they're in like that whole survival mode sort of thing. So, and at that point, I don't think government authorities could really get that under control, because they'd be outnumbered at that point. So I didn't get why people were just panic buying. I'm like, the stores are going to stay open, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I don't see it going very good if they close for an extended amount of time. And not everybody can afford to get groceries all at once or get like a ton of extra stuff, because one, they may not make a whole lot of money to, like, maybe they only have a certain amount of money they can spend each week or on each day on groceries. And if everybody's panic buying everything off the shelf, then they don't have access to it anyways, or a lot of people don't have access. So that is definitely a reaction out of fear that people are doing with the whole panic buying. I just don't think it's necessary. I think if people just purchase things like they did every week, what they think they'll need, all of us could benefit. All of us would still benefit and get what we need, and there wouldn't be fights breaking out over toilet rolls, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. So besides seeing that got me a little bit fearful and panicked, and made me think, well, maybe I should start buying this stuff because it's all going to be out, and then I'm going to be like screwed later, which I think a lot of people have found themselves in that situation as well. I didn't panic buy. Luckily, I already just had a bunch of toilet paper and stuff, dried goods, rice, beans, potatoes, a lot of stuff that I've been having a hard time finding in the store. But I'm just trusting that I'll be fine. We'll be fine. We have plenty and we're very abundant. And if we need something, we'll be able to get it one way or another, whether we have to order it online or something. So I'm not super concerned on that front. But I want to talk about also the responding out of love, because fear and love are two very different vibrations. Love is one of the highest vibrations you can be at, and then fear is one of the lowest ones. And people who are in fear are very easily controlled and manipulated, because once they get into that whole survival state, they don't really think for themselves. They just kind of want somebody to save them. And that gets very scary, to give that much of your power, your life, your control over to an outside party. So I'm just going to say that. But I was very grateful when I did go to the store once. I had almost the whole day, I had a lot of very friendly encounters with people. And I was kind of surprised by that. The first one being, I had gone to a store and I have my shopping list on my phone. So I was looking at what I needed and I was checking things off as I go. And I was like really buried in my phone looking at my shopping list. And this adorable little girl, she was probably maybe 6 or 7, I would say. She was walking down the aisle with her family and she was holding on to the cart as she was walking, and she looks up at me and she goes, "Hello." And she just smiles at me, and I look up from my phone and I look at her and I'm like, "Hi," I say hi back. And that just like really made me feel good, because kids are just so resilient and they're so smart and they're so innocent and they're not brainwashed yet, normally, until they get to a certain age by society. And that pureness of heart just, oh my goodness, it just got me. So that was one thing that helped kind of restore my faith in humanity. I'm like, okay, like not everyone's going to be like completely angry and like tearing each other apart. At least where I am right now, people don't seem that panicked. That's what's weird, but the shelves are empty. But everybody, other than that, everybody else seems for the most part normal and not afraid, besides just always talking about what's going on. So there was that. And then I had gone to a second store, and a guy who was walking in, he looked at me, he smiled, he said, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, I'm well, how are you doing? He's like, "I'm doing good." And then we both walked in together, and this was a store I'd never been to, so I didn't really know where anything was, and I was looking for carts and they weren't inside. Went back outside to get a cart, and there were 2 guys there, and one guy had gotten 2 carts and he had given a cart to the other guy, and so I was waiting for the other guy to kind of leave so I could get one. And then he looked at me and he was on the phone, but he looked at me, he smiled, he was like, "Do you need a cart?" And I was like, "Yeah, thank you so much." So like he gave me the cart that he had, and I thought that was really sweet. And I had talked to several cashiers and other people, and everyone was just so incredibly nice and so helpful. And that just really made my day. And I felt like that was a lot of responding to the situation, or just maybe not to the situation, but just responding to life in general through love and vibrating on a high vibration, the people that I interacted with, because they were doing very kind things for other people. Oh, and there's one more, I forgot. This was a different day. I had gone to the store, and for weeks now, there was no toilet paper or paper towels anytime I went. So I keep looking just in case, because we're running low on paper towels. And I was with my husband, and we're walking down the aisle, and it was a huge aisle, and there were several empty boxes. And there was a lady who was putting paper towel rolls, like they were bundled too, on the shelf. And I didn't quite understand what she was doing. We were like, does she work here? Is she restocking? But she didn't have a smock or a name tag or uniform, and she had just normal stuff in her cart and a purse. So I was like, okay, she definitely doesn't work here. So we waited patiently because we weren't sure what she was doing. And then I thought, well, maybe she took too many and they made her put it back, because I think now there's like a limit of 2 packs of toilet paper or paper towels per family or something like that when you check out. And we were waiting, and then she came up to me and she handed me a pack of paper towels. And I was like, "Thank you, that was very sweet of you." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're welcome. I saw that they were still in one of these boxes, so I just decided to put them on the shelf so people could get to them easier." And I was like, yes. I was like, that is something I would do, because that is doing something, that is responding to a crisis situation out of love, like not being selfish, not trying to just hoard stuff, but trying to help other people when you've already got what you need and you're able to give out, excess to other people. And I was like, thank you. That was so sweet. I wanted to share those examples of what I've been thinking about since I've gotten that message. And I just want to remind you to vibrate high. I feel like my vibration is still really high most of the time. So when I do go out in public and I interact with people, I generally get very nice, very helpful people that I interact with, and that just kind of lifts me up even more. So because my vibration's high, I'm attracting that reflection of what I'm feeling inside, and I'm attracting that. It's like a mirror. The universe is showing me that exact vibration back. So once you vibrate high, it's just the most wonderful thing. And if you need tips on how to do that, go check out my other videos. I have two. I think one is 10 ways to raise your vibration, and the other one is 8 ways to instantly raise your vibration. I think those will really significantly help you in this time to kind of, if you're in that fearful state right now, to just raise up and hopefully get to that level of love and not being so scared right now, because it's like we're fighting an invisible monster and everyone's very paranoid, and there's only so much you can do. Just be as safe as you can. But other than that, you just kind of have to let go and trust the universe. Everything's going to work out. And I promise you that's going to make you feel so much better in this time. I hope that my little examples maybe help someone feel a little bit better, or restore maybe their faith in humanity a little bit, that we can still be nice to each other. We can still be cordial even when we're social distancing. If we're passing people, you can still say hi. You can still smile. We don't have to just be scared and angry all the time. That is something that will lower your immune system if you're stressed all the time and make you more susceptible to infections, diseases, viruses, everything that's going on. Alright, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video, so make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.